Center for Demented Confusion, sorry, that's my understanding of what CDC means. The Center for Demented Confusion gave Facebook misinformation about COVID-19. So when they're asking Facebook to help them battle misinformation, the Center for Demented Confusion gives them misinformation. Makes sense, right? I mean, this is why you want government and big tech colluding together to decide what people are allowed to see, because they always get it right. Of course not. I'm sorry. My sarcasm is over the top today. Let's back up. Let's just speak truth here. You never, ever want government deciding what is allowed to be said in the public square. This is not Orwell's 1984. This is not Brave New World. This is America, where the First Amendment says that government has no say in what you want to speak in the public square, and the government should not be stopping your speech because they think it's misinformation, because every time you think of a policy, the immediate question should be, who decides? Who decides what is misinformation and what is not misinformation? If the regime is deciding what is truth, and they can stop anyone speaking something that is not what they believe to be truth, then you don't have freedom. You are fast marching down the road to complete totalitarianism. It's not just totalitarianism over our thoughts and our speech. Once you silence speech and you have no ability to counter the lies and to show the lies to be lies, then it leads to abject totalitarianism, where now, and we already see this coming, I mean, they've already hinted that the next flattening of the curve is going to be controlling your use of energy. So now we already see in California, it's actually another Saturday Night Live skit, these same people that are now wanting to get rid of the combustion engine completely, not allow people to have cars that aren't electric, are now telling everybody with electric cars not to charge their cars. So how are people? It's just insanity. But if you don't have the ability to speak freely and tell the other side, insanity wins. Proverbs even says one side sounds good till you hear the other. And that's what they want. They only want one side to be heard. Now, here's the good news to all of this. And I said this on my Front Porch Live Sunday night. By the way, if you haven't found Front Porch Live, I'd love for you to join me on Sunday nights. I just sit on my front porch and talk about what happened in the last week, go through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we have a great conversation live. So you can find me on Facebook. It's Patriot Rick Green is my handle on Facebook, or any of my other social media, and we put it up on Rumble afterwards. But anyway, I was talking Sunday about the fact that actually this emperor giving the speech about the new galactic empire was actually a gift. I mean, they are helping us. They are helping us because they are literally peeling back the curtain and revealing who they are. They're hateful. They are intolerant. They do not want anyone that disagrees with them to be able to speak or even to participate in the process. Let's not forget that about half of Democrats during the COVID crackdowns, COVID stand, and the insanity of what happened, they wanted you in jail if you were unwilling to be vaccinated. They wanted you in jail if you were unwilling to wear a mask. That's how far they are totalitarianists. So the only way we're going to stop them, folks, we have to stand up for truth. We have to fight for the Constitution, and we have got to change our education system. We have so many people in this country that are falling for all of this nonsense because they've been raised in a Marxist education system. The education system is taken. I'm telling you, watching the testimony at the State Board of Education and realizing the experts that are, even in Texas, that they're relying on are absolute woke leftists. They have bought the new value system. It is not the American value system anymore. And the education system's job is to teach the American value system and raise good citizens. And they're obviously not doing that. Now they are teaching an entirely new system, all built on diversity, inclusion, equity, all communist ideas. Those words do not mean what they act like they mean. And now the education system is completely taken. So people, your children, if you've put your children into public schools, you've handed them over to Caesar. Don't complain when they come home Romans, because right now I talk to parents every day whose children will not even speak to them, or they're completely at odds because the education system has turned them into complete leftists. So this has got to change. I just read Pete Hexeth's book, Battle for the American Mind. Phenomenal. Now, he's saying a lot of the same things that David Barton and I have been saying for 30 years, but he's actually put it in a great context and with a great battle plan and really analyzing what's happening out there. It's phenomenal. You got to read the book. But I'm telling you, get your kids out of the public schools. Get them into a classical Christian school or homeschool them or get them into, you've got to find another option. This is why school choice is so important, because I know a lot of you listening, you can't afford to do that. It does take sacrifice. I will ask you, find a way to sacrifice to get your kid out of public school and get them into another option. But school choice makes it possible for everybody to do this. It's one of the reasons I've been fighting for school choice since I was in the legislature. It's why I ran for the legislature 25 years ago, was for school choice. That was my number one issue, that and get rid of property taxes. But the good news is, like, as I said, they've given us a gift. They've gone way too far. We now have two big South Texas Democrats that are switching parties because they're sick and tired of all of this and the 5 million people that have come across the border. This is Democrat stronghold country in Texas. The border is hard Democrat, but not anymore, because they're seeing the damage. They're watching the humanitarian crisis created by the Democrat Party and this White House, and these lifelong Democrats now switching to become Republicans. One of them is a county judge. Another one's, I think, a district judge or some other kind of judge. So that's a big deal. It's a big sign, and it tells you the left has gone too far. And this, emperor's speech of fascism and everything else last week, I think, is another indication of they've gone way too far. And that's good for us, because now people that didn't pay attention in the past are paying attention. Let's turn them into patriots. Let's turn them into Bible-believing, biblical citizens.